See, or maybe we did win this game. Oh, we did win this one.
Oh, you
Sorry.
did. Oh, you did kill him. Okay. All right. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So the main things before we go on to the next. So like, focus on your defensive positioning, and then like focus on the timing of your dispel, and so that way the warrior can get out and intervene, and make sure you talk to them about like who's trinketing and stuff like that. Who's, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like, because you're gonna have to like
Mhm.
rotate for bubble. You're gonna have to rotate like bust and stuff like that. All right. Let's just move on to the next game here.
Okay. Um, so just find another one that I like. Okay, here's a good one. This was Ret Warrior again versus Holy Pal Monk and Warrior. Um, and I was pretty frustrated at the end of this one because I thought I played pretty well, but
Okay.
we still lost. We definitely lost this game. And at the end, like I said, I was frustrated
All
because I
right.
didn't know what I did wrong.
Yeah.
So here I kind of coordinated what I wanted to do. I said I'll stun
Are
the
you playing
warrior.
Flourish?
I'm not. I'm playing
Okay.
Germination.
Okay, you should play Flourish for Cleaves. It's like really, really useful to stack your Sem word.
Okay. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah, for sure. Always try to fake reflect if you're gonna try and do that.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but you used your cooldowns pretty decently there if you pause it for a second. So go back to the start here.
Okay.
Like when as they open.
Yeah, the
So
Warbreaker.
yeah. So like it's pretty good. Also like trying to run in and bash is not the best for something like this, because like basically what you want to do, you don't want them to end up going you, because like they
Which they
could.
could have.
Yeah, don't try to do that. Just try, I need you to try and like stay kind of safe, especially on goes. If you want a better target to clone, like a better target to do something there is to actually cast clone on the monk instead, if you
Why
feel.
is that?
Because like basically you have to deal with reflect from warriors, so like
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you have to get reflect and then like press soothe, which some is probably something you don't do, right? Because
I
like you're
don't do that.
right,
No, I
right.
just usually
It's
move
soothe,
fire.
yeah, exactly. So well, the reason why you want to do that is because like Moonfire costs mana and stuff
Mm,
like so. Yeah, so um but yeah, try to stay safe, and um you need to have like some type of rotation going on for the uh so like you notice how your ret doesn't have trinket anymore. Like that's a problem, because basically they can pretty much go every minute, and your cooldowns don't line up every minute. So this next one is you like the warrior doesn't have parry, your ret doesn't have trinket, so this go right here, which I'm talking about, is going to be insane. And you're playing
yeah, we
offense and
didn't
make
have
it.
any.
Yeah, so he just bubbles it, which is very, very unfortunate. And like in the grand scheme of things, like you should not be trying to do offensive goes on their goes. You just try to go in for CC instead of trying to peel. Like imagine if you were like cloning the DPS there. You need to focus on like more defense than offense. And like
Okay.
the minute you do that, like you're gonna start to climb like a lot of rating, because that's the struggle when it comes to like low rating, is people don't know how to like destroy people's goes. So just focus on
Right.
destroying people's goes, and then like you know
Yeah. And I definitely kind of know that positioning and getting myself in bad spots has always been my problem the last like couple
yeah.
weeks of playing.
So I notice you're not tracking the Repelli's shield. I think that could be useful too. So
Oh,
that
like
that
his
shield
defensive
that
one?
that shield. You see that shield?
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah.
the one that, yeah. And he should also be using Battle Master with that, because it increases the size of the shield. And when you increase the size of the shield, it also does more damage. So make sure you tell him that.
Okay. I think
So
here's
so he uses trinket. Did you use yours? Okay, you have yours up in 1 minute.
yeah.
All right. There's another fleshcraft there without bear form. Remember, that's
Mhm.
very, very important. You have to try to get used to that, okay? Because
Okay.
it's like super, super important.
This was really bad. That was very bad. That
Um,
was again.
it's okay. It's okay
Yeah.
because they don't have sweep. When
Mm.
you're fighting a Windwalker monk, your main So right here, this is super easy to heal. Like you see how they're just go. They just did a go and they don't have sweep, so it was like
Mhm.
super livable. And there's the sweep late, so yeah, like their whole go was completely messed up. But I think you should be fine here. He still has Battle Master. He shouldn't die here. You have NS. You just used, yeah. He has BM. Does he press it? Yeah, he does. Okay. So always try to play around the sweep, okay? Because that's how they want to set up. Because if they set up otherwise, it's gonna be like stupid. I don't mind you going in and getting
Mhm.
crowd control um like you just did while there's no stuns. I think
Right.
that's how you're supposed to CC. So like this right now, this is really good, right? Because like
Yeah,
it's
there's no
like
leg
you're getting
sweep.
stuff for free, you're not in danger, right?
Mhm.
So now like if I was playing in this position right now, I would be trying to focus on the next setup because you see sweeps coming back up, right? You're tracking that.
So what are you thinking then? Are you thinking get hots up?
Yes, because you have none out right now. You see this?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this is probably where we
your
die.
ret just bopped for no reason, like before the go. I don't understand the bop. Did you see that? Go back like 30 seconds. So you actually didn't cause this loss, but if you go back, you'll see that he has sweep coming back up before the sweep, and he bops himself.
Yeah, so sweep is here. Yeah.
Yeah, and this bop makes no sense. So yeah, yeah, he just dies, and you weren't prepared for this go because you didn't have the hots. So
So that
you're
really just
super
comes
far
down
behind.
to I know the go is coming. Because even here, I looked at like my healing to see if I was completely out to lunch or.
Yeah, it's not about like your healing overall healing done. It's just it like you could look good on the meters all you want if that's what you're referring
Mhm.
to. I think that's what you're
Yeah,
referring to.
kind
Okay,
of
no,
like
like
yeah.
you could it's not it you can sit there and heal all you want and but if you just like if you don't keep your hots up for like 5 seconds, you just lose the game. So
Right.
make sure you're prepped consistently on that. So one of the things
Mhm.
I like to do when it comes to healing cleaves, obviously you're not playing Flourish, uh, but when you know like you're fighting a Windwalker and you have multiple, your warrior's gonna take damage and your ret's gonna take damage. I have the 3-stack life bloom on one target and then I have the send ward on the other target, if that makes sense. So like
I see what you're saying.
you're kind of like splitting your heals, but like because basically you're relying on the fact that you know that you can only NS one of them, right? So the other
Mhm.
you're gonna rely on the fact that one's gonna get slowly hit to like 40, and the other one's gonna get hit hard, and then you NS whichever one is getting hit the hardest, and then you kind of recover, you know, with like you're kind of like splitting your hots in half, so that way you're not having all your eggs in one basket. Because
Right.
if you have a full set of hots on one person, they can instantly swap to the other one and just kill them. So
Which happens a lot. Can I ask you another question?
sure, ask any
Um,
questions you want.
this one, and maybe it's obvious, but it's sure as hell not to me, is when you Swift Mend and you get Soul of Forest, and then you cast Rejuve. If you Rejuve again right after that, does it overwrite immediately?
Yes.
So how do you keep track of that? Because I always just
Uh,
lose track of whether I have one on him or
s-
not.
the way it's not about keeping track of it. It's just a natural process of not like spamming rejuve.
And
Do you,
I think I do that.
yeah. So and that but that comes from the habit of playing germination. So uh
Yes.
so I don't really focus on that because like the way that I heal when it comes to rejuvenation is
Mhm.
I try not to rejuve until 5 seconds left. Because basically, what happens when you reapply a rejuve at 5 seconds left, you gain those 5 seconds. Like your rejuve like all your hots get extended by the duration that's left if it's 5 seconds or less. If that makes sense. So like if you cast
Mm.
Light Bloom, the initial
Yeah.
the initial duration is 15 seconds, and then if you Life Bloom again, the next duration is 20 seconds. Regardless of what duration, if it's 5 or greater, it's going to be 20 seconds. So if it's 4 seconds, it's going to be 19, 3, 18. Does that make sense?
I didn't know that's how it works. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
adds time to it?
Well, it is basically it works like that for dot damage over time effects too. But like
Mhm.
yeah. So 5 seconds basically is
Okay.
the number that you need to. But
So just don't spam it. Just know, like, target when you're gonna actually rejuve.
yeah, don't. But well, I want you to. I want you
Hmm.
to. The next time you queue, I want you to start playing your cleave matchups with Flourish and tell me how it goes, because that will
Okay.
help. That will help you like heal like the goes that you don't have Iron Bark. You try to like split that up if you can. Like,
Oh, I see.
do you
Okay.
know what I'm
So
saying?
Iron
Like,
Bark on a go and then Flourish on a go,
yeah, I
basically.
mean, sometimes I use both depending on the situation. Like, if there's like if your ret doesn't have like Trinket Shield or your Warrior's dead, like you have to use both in certain scenarios. But
Yep.
yeah, like I try to split them up so that way the you're playing damage control. Like that's the whole point, right? One go gets barked, the other go gets extra healing. You try to just work your way through that
And
stuff.
what comps do you prefer Flourish in? Just cleave
Um,
comps, or can you use it?
I mean, I've used Flourish. Flourish can be used in Flourish is very versatile. Um,
Mhm.
the most important matchup Flourish is used for is like Shaman Shadow Priest. I think it's very very important because your second Reju gets like no value, and in fact a lot of your hots get no value. So like having Flourish to flourish your Sen Ward is extremely
You're saying
valuable.
no value because it just gets purged.
Yeah, you just get dispelled. So that's why like
Mm.
Flourish is like really good. But there's some other synergies with Flourish, like if you Flourish and then Trank, if you can't get like your hots out, like that does really big healing. So um, yeah, there's a lot of tools that you could use Flourish for. All right, let's
Okay,
let's
I have been thinking about going it, so it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like it's a surprise. I just
Okay.
um so this is a game that I just felt like I just couldn't keep up on heals, and I didn't know what I was doing wrong.
Well,
It
you're
just
fighting
felt
you're fighting
like,
two shamans, so yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
and that's sometimes the scenario is where I'm fighting shamans or priests, and I don't know what to do because I just keep spamming my
Yeah.
hots and I can't heal my teammates.
All right. Well, let's take a look and see what happens.
So I'm pre-hotting the priest because I think
Okay.
they're gonna go him.
Yeah. So the first thing, so actually, pause it right now. This is a huge mistake here. So like the first thing you always want to do when you're starting to hot people is you want to lead with life bloom. Um,
Oh.
not double. Like you want to have a life bloom on here because like basically the whole point is that you want to be very mana conservative, like as
Mhm.
much as possible. And so pressing life bloom at the start of the game will allow it to like tick and basically free stack because how I approach the game with life bloom. I can't always do this with flourish because you don't have multiple rejuves. But when you're playing the double rejuve spec, like I try to like not just triple stack my life bloom, like press it 3 times in a row. I try to like
Oh.
I try to like make sure it gets down to the tick spot, the bloom spot, which is the less than 5 seconds. I know you don't know that. We haven't really gone over that either. I know we talked about the extension, but the life bloom actually blooms if it's 5 seconds or less as well.
Man,
So
I'm
so
so
yeah, I
bad
know.
though at
Yeah,
that. Like that
yeah.
is,
But
yeah.
if you practice that, like, because like spamming life bloom is just like really bad for mana.
And I do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely do that.
So
Yeah.
so if you get in the practice of like constantly having a life bloom out no matter what, and just like letting it always have life bloom, because not only is it like mana efficient in terms of like the the letting the timer fall so you can bloom, because it's when every time you bloom it's free healing, right?
Hmm.
The other important thing is that it bloom life bloom is the thing that fishes your soul procs, your clear casting procs for your free regrowths, and that
Yeah.
will help you become mana efficient as well, because you'll have more of those as long as if you have life loom up the entire game, you're going to have more free regrowths, right? So you can either cast those for free for more healing when you apply another hot to a target, the regrowth hot, you
Hmm.
get more mastery. So this is all of this is like being built together and like
Hmm.
combining. So make sure you have life bloom always, if
Okay,
that.
so you're basically saying life bloom first, and then
Mhm.
what would you do? Would you do what would be your general opening rotation? Be life
If
bloom,
I would
rejuve?
life bloom rejuve stealth, like just start
Okay.
with that like, and
Okay.
that's like, yeah, because then you have the revitalize on the target as well, and then you should be chilling, because you
Okay.
want to get your stealth out, right? So you don't want to spam hots, right? You want to just
Yeah,
start.
I've been caught by that before. I
Sure.
definitely,
So
yeah.
this is another go where like you're already behind on the healing, and because you're trying to go for the CC right away, and
Yeah, I
which
definitely.
okay. So what I would be doing, so like this is what I would do in this situation here. So
Mhm.
like when I'm playing with a caster and I know we're fighting shamans, so you notice how they have double ground and double shear. Your priest is
Mhm.
never going to be able to play the game here. So what you need to do is you need to actively heal the person that you need to be healing, right? And then like constantly fake pump clones, and don't try to actually finish the clone
Oh,
unless
okay.
unless you like are like safe hot wise. So like for me, like in this situation, like I would be getting the priest like safe, and then I'd be casting clone, getting a shear, casting clone, getting a ground, go for hots, casting clone, getting a shear, go for hots, casting clone, getting a ground. I'm
Mm.
not I'm not even joking. Like that's how you have to play, because what that does, even though you're not actually cloning, you're creating so much space for the priest to like play the game. And
Mhm.
this goes for like other casters too. Like if you're playing God Comp, which is Shadow Priest Mage, this allows your mage to be able to sheep more. Or if you're playing with a warlock, this allows your lock to cast more. Like it's super super crucial that you do this. And then eventually, like if you're constantly doing this while healing your team, safely, obviously if you're in a safe position to do so, because you have to be careful, because once they start running at you, when they get annoyed with that, then you have to like kind of calm down. But what that
Mhm.
does, if they start running at you, it creates the same situation where like you're creating um this space that you're giving for your teammates because they're hitting you
Mhm.
now, right? So it's the same concept where like they're not training him anymore. So yeah,
And
all
when
right.
you say safe, you're saying, is there a idea behind that? You're just saying, I've got full hots up on my priest. Are you including Cenarian word in that? Or you,
Yeah,
what do
yeah,
you?
yeah. I mean, like when you feel like you're in a safe position to cast
Mhm.
clone, and it's like if you have 2 seconds to cast clone, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's when you do it. And then like
Right.
don't and then eat a shear or fake the shear, and then like
Right.
that's what I'm trying to say, because like you really
Mhm.
don't want to get locked out. Just assume they're going to have a stop, so just don't finish the cast. Try to fake the shear, assume, especially with two shamans, assume it's going to get stopped, and then just like keep like pushing at them. All right.
Right. But
All right, pause it again. We're going to go over something here. Okay, go back like 10 seconds here. So you see how like um your DH is like completely safe and getting overhealed right now. Okay, no, 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 yeah. So this is very important because it's like hot management, right? So when
yeah.
you're playing, especially when you're playing like the double germ build, like you
Yeah.
have you have to try and realize like when someone's you have to try and understand how much healing you're actually doing to the target. Go back 10 more seconds. So like in this situation, you just pressed adaptive swarm on a target that is full HP and is not going to die with blur.
I
You see that?
know. I
Okay,
think I even
but
Swift mended him
yeah,
too.
but the Swift med is fine. But what I'm saying is try what I'm saying in this position, like you have to don't don't solely not every situation you have to do adaptive swarm on the Sen ward. So
Mm.
because adaptive people don't really understand this from like a non-druid perspective, is that adaptive swarm is actually stronger than Sen ward, because like
Right.
the adaptive swarm with a full set of hots is healing a lot. Like
Mhm.
if you have a rejuve life bloom, rejuve life bloom, adaptive swarm on the priest, that's still a decent amount of healing. So like I personally will split them up constantly back and forth, because people swap off this. Like they see your full stack hots on the DH and he's full blurred at full HP. Like you're not going to get any value from this, and your priest is going to take it here, you know.
Yeah.
And this type of thinking like will allow you to have more breathing room to actually get the clones that I'm talking about.
Mhm. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
So
And I know when the game started, I thought they're gonna go priest. and then I got scared because on that opener they went Demon Hunter, and then I thought, okay, they're gonna go Demon Hunter again, and then I rehotted him, and I got in
Yeah.
trouble.
So I would
Priest
say
had nothing.
I would actually say about 60% of 60% of the time, like my my
Sorry.
adaptive my it's fine. My adaptive swarm is like not on the send war target when I'm playing the build you're playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would say 40% of the time
Oh.
it is, and that's during like major burst situations. Like, but you're fully aware of those situations, like so you're able to
Mm-hmm.
do that. And because adaptive swarm like bounces so much, like there's a lot of like manipulation you can do with the um with the swarm stacks. So for an example, for me, like I personally don't really like, you know how like if you swarm a swarm buff already and it goes to more stacks, like if there's 2 stacks and you swarm and it goes to 5,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't
I
really
don't know
like.
anything about.
Okay, well, swarm goes back and forth, right? So like after this 3 stack, it's gonna go to 2 on a DPS, and then 1 on your on and 1 back to like one of your teammates, whether it's you or whatever, and then um you can apply a swarm onto that stack, and it goes to 4. Like if there's 1 stack left, it goes to 4, and then you have like another swarm. But I try not to go higher than 4 because when it gets to when it comes back at 2 and then you swarm it again, it goes to 5. It's like, and it goes back to 4 onto the enemy. I know this is kind of confusing, but like
Mm-hmm.
if the healer dispels it, you lose all 4 of those swarm stacks. So I try to keep
Oh, I
mine.
see.
I try
Okay.
to keep mine below 4, and then like swarm the other target, so that way you have swarms like constantly. And you'll see this come into play next patch if you're playing druid more, because you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
play the swarm like Lego, your
Oh, where it
covenant,
splits.
where it splits, and you're gonna
Yeah,
see
yeah.
this function like happen a lot more frequently, where you're gonna have micro control over the swarm stacks and try to see, like,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see what I'm talking about. All right,
Okay.
let's go on.
Okay.
So let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah, force disperse, but we know why that happened pretty much because of the
Yeah, I was
the
way
swarm.
behind.
All right. Do you see how you just press light bloom twice, and there's only one rejuve on the DH there. So try to make sure you're going wide before you're
Oh, before
blooming up.
doubling up.
Yeah, before doubling up, because basically the wider you go, the more healing you do with your
Right.
mastery. So
I think it was. Yeah, it was probably.
it's cool. It's cool. So now in this situation, you know that. Yep, good, good, good. This is good. Yep, I like that. That's how my hots look right now. What you just did. That's how my hots look. You have the bloom and the hots on one target, the stem ward on the other. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? This is how
Mm-hmm.
you heal. This is how you're supposed to heal with split damage. Okay, this is good. You're getting a clone. That's nice. Unfortunately, like that, just need to incorporate that all game and just, yep, good clone. Now in this situation, I would hot the priest and then I would go for clones. Just fake pump, fake pump.
Mm,
You're going for bash. Fake pump, fake pump. I know you're not
right.
you're not gonna do it, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to show
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there is a lot of
Right.
defensive maneuvers
Right.
they have.
Okay. So so right now your priest is not being hit. It's just the DH. This is fine. Having the hots like this, the clone. Okay, you're doing it. Good. You're getting clones for you're just fake pumping. Clone again. Good. I don't know why this should be stopped. There's 2 shamans, but like,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. Doom wins. So this is this is very important. You need to be careful with this. But he blurred, so you're chilling. But they're just gonna swap. All right. See, this is the problem right there. Stop. It's the same issue. You you
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
you already know that he's pressing cooldowns. So you have this.
Yeah.
You have
Yes.
as soon as he presses cooldowns, they're gonna swap. They're not gonna attack in a blur. So like that send ward was like a huge. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
try to
Yeah. I
focus
see
on
what you're
splitting your
saying.
hots. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I will admit I am very bad about noticing when my teammates use their cooldowns. I'm just so focused on the health at times that I don't notice the utilization of their own cooldown. So that's probably what happened there. I didn't even see him use blur.
Yeah. All right. How do you end up losing this game? Let's go to the end here. Let's see what
Okay.
happens.
I'm pretty sure this is where I just get out healed. Like he just gets run down. Okay.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm safe. I've got send word on the priest. I thought I was
Go
chilling.
back some. I want to know why you barked the DH there. Go back.
Okay.
I want to see what happens. Right before the bark.
Probably not.
Okay, so there's
Okay.
Doom. Okay, there's Doom wins.
So I tried to split, I believe.
You didn't bark any cooldowns. You just barked the DH when he has Trinket, Blur, and Dark. And like your priest has no disperse right now, and he only had Fade, but he didn't have Trinket. So if you had bark for him right here, he doesn't die. But he just took it because like you have to basically how you have to play healer. This is not just druid specific, but you basically have to think about what cooldowns your team has constantly.
Yeah.
Like if your DH doesn't die this go, don't save him. If your priest dies this go, don't use your defensives. Like so, go back again. This will be more clear with a better visual. So, all right.
You want to go? Where do I bark it?
Go back to where you bark. Yeah, right before it. Okay. All right. Right here.
Yeah.
So stop, pause it. Or go. Okay. So like, if imagine, I know he has Fade here, but like, imagine like the DH. You see, this is very important because like your DH has Trinket, Blur, and Darkness, and so like in this situation, like mid game, like in the opener, this is not the same like rules because everyone has like cooldowns. But like when you're trying to like fluctuate and try to figure out like the perfect rotation for like who's going to use what, like you have to prioritize who doesn't have the most cooldowns, right? And obviously the DH has every cooldown. The priest doesn't have a disperse or a trinket. So the bark should always go to the target that can actually die on the go, right? So the other person trades, and if you don't need to use bark, great, don't use bark. Why? Because bark is a 1.5 minute CD, and their damage cooldowns are not 1.5 minutes. So like in this situation, like you would not press anything here because he faded, and then you would hold the bark, and then the DH would be fine because he would blur, and then you would bark who would ever die 10 seconds from now because they're going to kill him right now in the spear, right? Because that's what happens, right? So
your game sense when you're playing a game, and again, maybe it's obvious to everybody else, but to me, I do not actively watch ally cooldowns. You're saying that's like super critical?
You don't have to actively watch them. It's like a mental check. Like when you know a go is happening, like constantly, like it's like when you're driving and you're looking in the rearview mirror every 8 seconds. It's kind of like that notion where like you're just checking. Okay, what do you have this go? What do you have this go? You have to constantly check with your team. Like, okay, you're doing this. Okay, then you're doing this. Like, you have to be in control of that. Otherwise, otherwise you'll lose a lot of games to cooldown management.
And it happens. I know it happens to me because this is probably an exact scenario, but I know other games, it's the same thing. I don't know who has what, and then I use too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have all the information here for you. Like that, these add-ons are super great. You have a very informative UI. So
yeah.
All right. Let's
okay. That makes sense. That is I need to do that more.
Let's move on to the next game.
Okay. So I think this next one, I don't want to do too many of the RMPs because I feel like it's always the same thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I would like to have a diverse.
It's the other comps that I struggle with.
Yeah, I want to see a diverse like set of games for just so I can cover as many bases as I can for you, you know. And then like if you decide that you want to get like after like I would like to see you like for like at least like one more session, just to like kind of see like where you're at and what you've improved on and stuff, and then we can like once you've improved on those things, like we can go into like detail of like other things. But right now, I think there's just like so much that I need you to practice on. You know what I'm saying? And then like we get like
yeah, and I know I am new to the game, so I know there's a lot, but I just want to see if this was a loss. I think it might have been I know there's one game
even it doesn't matter if it's a loss or
this is a good game. This is a good game.
Sure.
Because I felt like I played pretty well.
Okay.
And it's another
Yeah.
cleave, but it's versus a caster comp and lots of purges.
Um. The thing, one thing I just want to say, like, it doesn't matter if it's a win or loss, because like there's so much that like lower MMR players, or like from my perspective, not to say that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like that you can just learn so much from wins and losses, like how to just do
Right.
it better, so that the
Okay,
actual outcome of the game doesn't really matter. Okay, let's
I
see
might
what
as
you
well
got.
ask you this right away because it's
Sure.
another thing I struggle with all the time.
Sure.
Is dispelling Shadow Priest debuffs? Should I just consistently do it, or do I just wait for a mind games
um
and then dispel, or am I kind of cleaning it
it
throughout the game?
So for Wrestler Druid, it's, especially if you're playing like against like this comp specifically, where there's a lot of dots, the spell has a decent value, but
Okay,
I would prioritize my healing first, because like you can't dispel disease, and so they
right,
and you also have to be mindful, you have to be mindful of Mali and stuff like that too. So but yeah,
right, and
this,
that's yeah, exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
but like in this situation, like what you did here is fine. As long as you innervated before the OG, but like
Uh,
it doesn't matter, because yeah, you're full mana at this point. So like
yeah,
this is
I'm
fine.
sometimes bad at that about innovating an OG, but
Yeah,
I know that the idea behind it. Yeah.
yeah, okay,
So here I'm just trying to line, and I got in as yeah.
that's okay. You're fine.
So I tried to fleshcraft
Yeah,
here.
you shouldn't have been able to do that. He should have feared you, but it's fine,
Yeah,
unless you got sanked. Cool.
trying to
You're
haunt
keeping your
the
somewhat up. Yep, you got clone though. It's
yeah.
bad. He bubbled. All right. I'm not sure about this Iron Bark here, because you kind of want to time your bark um around like this the Shadow Priest CC. Like you see how he's gonna, like, you have to have a good game sense of like when you think you're gonna get horrified, and that's kind of like how you play around Shadow Priest right now.
Which is when you want to bark
Yeah, yeah.
preemptively.
You also have NS up right now, like as a buff. Like you must have just
Oh,
pressed you must have pressed NS and like didn't use it.
yeah. I think I ran to the warrior, and I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what happened. I thought I lost the buff.
Okay.
I feel we got pretty lucky there. I thought I was gonna die for
No, the Trank is fine. It's
sure. Okay.
definitely fine. All right, you're good. Hmm.
I think in this whole game, I just like don't know where to go. I'm just like lost.
So okay, yeah. So like basically your positioning should be trying to avoid clones the whole time.
Mm,
So like you're
okay.
jumping around, standing in the open. You don't want to do that. You kind of want to hug the pillar. If you pay attention to your pathing as a druid, you're like always like moving like in really. So right now your positioning is fine. That's good what
Yeah.
you're doing right
Yeah.
now. But like throughout the game, you're kind of like standing in the middle, and like it's really bad to do that,
I
because
know. Yeah.
yeah. So what you're doing is great, great. Just try to get heals on a warrior when you can. Okay, it's fine. I like the split. Yep, you did a split. Good. I don't like the light bloom swap though, because you already have Semward and the other one's lower, right? So you should
Mm,
have the light. Yeah, the light bloom swap was bad there, but it's fine.
okay.
Good, good. Like what you're doing right now is great, but they need. It's obviously not every game is going to be 100% your control, but like they
Yeah.
need to be able to do specific things like better. So like they need to be connecting to targets better and stuff like that, which is why it feels so lackluster sometimes. But they're
And
good. They're getting.
this is all non-voice, so it's just
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's cool. All right, let's see what happens out of this. Okay, I like the bark. It's good. That one's good. You see like your global issues here, like how influent it is. Look what you just did like 10 seconds ago. Go back some. Like you light bloom one target, and then you instantly swap the light bloom to the other target when the light bloom was already on that target. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I do that. Yeah.
you're like it's like very very inefficient healing, and it's like you need to try and make sure you're having efficient global usage. See the light bloom
Yeah.
there?
You're thinking about what you're doing.
Light bloom. Here it happens right here. You swap the
Yeah.
light
Yeah.
bloom and then you swap the light bloom back. You're literally doing no healing with those two globals, and like it's like you just have, you know what I'm saying? Like try to find a different way to keep them going, and yeah, because that's
Mhm.
definitely not it. You're basically doing negative HPS in those globals. So
Yeah.
also another thing. Okay, stop it right here. This is really bad to do. Look at your innervate and look where the Shadow Priest and Shaman are, and look where you are. When you're innovating, you're basically what you're doing right now is you're like yelling at them like, "Hey, dispel me!" You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah, you want to try and protect your innovate. So when you're pressing innovate, try to remove yourself from the fight. Try to put a rejuve on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Try to run away from the Shadow Priest because they'll just look at you and press the spell, and then you just get like no value from that. So
Yeah.
so
I don't
yeah.
even actually know if I ever think about that, which is crazy.
It's very important, especially in
Yeah.
against Shadow Priests because you spend a lot of mana against Shadow Priests because they spam, but like they should be
Yes.
spam dispelling you. So
Yes.
another thing I want to see is
Mhm.
in a game like this, like your mana, you've already been through two innervates and you haven't tried to drink yet. In a game like
Mhm.
this, where it's kind of slow paced and there's not a lot going on in between goes, like it's not very hectic, and before dampening, I want to see you try to drink more. If you keep your mana up before dampening, it makes it much easier to heal through dampening because then you're not starving for mana. You know what I'm saying? You're
Yeah.
if you drink pre-dampening, you're basically healing at full potential, and then you basically want to try to have as much mana as you can going into dampening because it just gets harder and harder to heal, which means
Right.
it's harder and harder to drink. It's harder and harder
Right.
to maintain mana. So try to have that like concept against like dampener teams like this because Shadow Priest Boomy Shaman is a dampening comp for sure. So they're just gonna run around and make you do nothing. So all right, let's move on to the
Like
next
I
game.
Okay, I definitely feel watching this back that I'm just way too close to the action. I'm always
Right, and for a comp like this, from what I'm seeing, it's positioning errors, timing errors for your global cooldowns, like
yeah.
your innervate timings, your hot timings, and just the main thing to get to most. The one thing I haven't seen you do is to get the most pressure here. Like if they're not going Druid, you want to try and CC Druid for free as much as you can while they're doing goes because basically what's stopping you from actually killing them is this constant cyclones on your DPS. If you counter the
It
Druid,
happened a lot.
right, if you cyclone the Druid, the cyclones stop, right? You're basically stopping them with your own CC. But I see you trying to CC the Shaman a lot, and you should be trying to CC the Druid instead if they're not hitting Druid. If they're hitting Druid, then you should try to CC the Shaman, right?
Right.
You want to take out the two things that are keeping them alive as much as possible, and that's blue and orange.
Right. And I think I've kind of gotten better about that with say a warrior team. If they're going to kill the other DPS, I CC the warrior to prevent him from saving. So I've
Yeah,
been trying to do that, but you're right with the boomy I should have.
right. All right, let's see what else you got here.
Okay, I'll show you. I'll show you where I tried to play cat form.
Sure,
And these
definitely.
guys were actually really good. My team was really good. I'm pretty sure they were high rank alts, and I definitely let them down. So
Okay. Do you remember the comp it was? Because you can sort by you could yeah, I think you can sort by like comp or map or something like that.
yeah, it was. I thought it had it all. It was just a mage. It was God comp. That's what it was. Oh, maybe. Oh, this is it here. This is the team I played with.
Okay.
We were Shadow Priest, Mage,
Sure.
and then there was me. Okay, so here's
Yeah, that's a good.
this was a game I know I screwed up right away, so I'll show
Yeah,
you it because
but
I think it
God,
was exactly what you talked about where I was
yeah,
too close.
God Comp is a good example of playing cat affinity.
And I really like it. I think it's fun,
It's
but
very fun. Yes.
I just always seem so these two guys were really good. They were definitely good players. And they kept trying to give me tips. And okay, so I think they're gonna go with Shadow Priest, so I kind of hot
I
him
don't
up.
like this. I don't like this. Pause.
Hmm.
I don't like the. I don't like your opener for hots. Like the reason why you don't want to do this is because like what if they just go mage? You know, and then you don't have Semward or
Yeah.
Adaptus. Like this is completely. This is really 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 bad to do because you want to try and be more reactive with your Semward instead of proactive in a lot of
No.
situations, especially the start. Like the only time it's good to like Semward the start is if it's like against like rogue mage because like you're not going to be coming out for a long time, right? Whereas like a comp like this, you're ready to play like right away if they go. So
Mm,
don't do this in the opener. All right, let's go.
well, you're gonna see what happened too.
Sure.
So
Yeah, they just go you. Okay, you tranked. I don't like this trank because
no.
no, no, I
Oh, I
don't.
thought it was good. I was like
No,
pumped up about that. I fucked
no,
their go.
no, 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 no. You tranked way too high, and
Oh, okay.
they didn't press, and yeah, this is not good. Because like
Okay.
you can live this with skin and fucking you have a battle master on, you can vortex them and jump away. Like it's not good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it doesn't get any better.
Okay, that sucks. Um, so yeah, I don't know, but like there's not a lot to say. Uh, but this comes down to like the fact that like you gotta try and make sure you don't get hit by them. Like otherwise, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It's
was
like
too
kind of
close
yeah,
again.
you're just kind of too close, and you're just not reactive to like what's going on. You just kind of got global too. So
Yeah. Um. Okay. Here's one. Here's one. Pretty sure we've lost this one too. I was playing Shadow Priest, Warrior, Druid, but it was again LFG.
yeah,
So I don't think there was a lot of coordination there.
we can do the ones you win too, because like it would help you win those harder. Just so you know, if you want to do those.
Okay. Yeah, I'll find some. Yeah. So I dispel right away on the Warrior.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
You're fighting DH Warrior. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this is good.
That worked out really well. I didn't
Yes,
use
yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah. It's fine. Yeah, they mainly want to kill your priest. I like putting that rejuve on the warrior. It's good because that was your
Mhm.
soul. This is
I
good
was
now.
stoked about that too. I was like, oh yeah.
This is good. Okay, why didn't you go for clone there?
I thought I was gonna fall behind.
Okay, they have no stuns. They had no stuns and they just did like a lot of damage already. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, true.
And you were completely safe because there was no one going to be able to stop you.
Yeah, true, true.
So you have really good rotation here in terms of like your cooldown management here. But I don't know why you're. Yeah, I think your priest pressed stuff like pretty poorly somehow.
Okay, because I remember at this point in the game, I was like, holy shit, we
Yeah,
have nothing.
yeah, that shouldn't have happened at all. Not no. But he has fade back, so
Yeah.
the one thing I don't see you do, like the one thing that how how Shadow Priest and Druid like live together
Hmm.
is you need to clone the DPS off him. Otherwise, he's just gonna get railed the whole game. Like this is the same concept of fighting the double shaman. It's like if you're only cloning shaman, your priest is gonna have a hard time,
Right.
which is exactly what we're seeing here, right? So like he's living on the fringe, right? Like
Yeah, he was
so
basically dead the whole game.
if you slow you if you clone the DPS more and let the priest like CC the shaman, like it's gonna go a lot better because he can't really CC the DPS. Only you can, and you're causing yourself to just get CC'd for free here by this positioning as well.
Yeah,
But
like being too close to
you
the.
definitely need to play away from the shaman and trying to clone the DPS more. You have to slow the game down. If you don't slow the game down, this is exactly what's gonna happen. You're just gonna
We
lose
just run out of time.
because like your healing this game was actually really well. It's probably the best I've seen it out of any game so far. Like
Oh, okay.
and I think that's just because like you were throwing everything you had, right? And
Mm.
so, but yeah, like
And maybe I just got lucky with how I had it
yeah, exactly.
lined up
But
too, right? Yeah.
I really think that you should try to clone the DPS more. So
Right.
start with Demon Hunter, and then while the Demon Hunter's cloned, that's when you start cloning Warrior, and you get Reflect from Warrior, or whatever, or do something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, or like a lot. What will happen is in a lot of situations, if the Demon Hunter's cloned, people assume the next clone is going to be on the Demon Hunter again, so they won't reflect and stuff like that. But
Mm.
you can try to fish for it and see what he does, right?
Right.
So stuff like that. Another thing, another thing I like doing against warriors is like if they fear me, I will and I'm feeling safe, I will clone them on purpose and see if they reflect and just get the
Oh, that's a good idea. I
right,
didn't
right,
think
because then
about
you're
that.
already on DR and
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
so like the 3 second clone doesn't really matter. So and it gets a reflect out of the way, and then it leaves a gap for them to get cloned or blah 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 stuff like that. So yeah, just try to when you're playing with a shadow priest, like if you're playing WP warrior priest druid, like the main goal is you have to peel for the priest. You have to. It's super important. So
So another question I just don't know what people do is when you say you're kind of waiting for their go or you're ready, you know their go's coming. Are you really watching just Omnibar, or are you kind of instinctively know that, hey, it's time, they're probably going to go now in 30 seconds,
it's
or
both. It's both. Like
is
Omnibar,
it okay?
like eventually what happens is like you stop relying on Omnibar and it becomes like a small reference. Like
Right.
a lot of times like I don't like I could play without any of my add-ons. Like and
Right.
when I say that it's just like I came from a world where we didn't have these types of add-ons that were like so like valuable and they're so
Hmm.
nice, right? So I can play the game without it, but like they I don't know. I do both is what I'm saying. But like
Yeah.
for you like just track your just try to focus on like your add-ons and like focus on like the timers of like what's happening next, you know? So
Yeah, and that's kind of what it almost makes me better when I focus less on Omnibar and just kind of know that, okay, it's been enough time, they're gonna go again.
right.
Because if I'm
It's
too focused on Omnibar, I just feel like I'm tunneling it, and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
and then I'm
It's
in trouble.
yeah, the one issue with WoW itself is like there's so much information overload that you have to do, and like for a new player, like imagine a new player that doesn't have your UI. Like all of us have similar UIs, right? We have all these add-ons that track
Mhm.
everything. Like when you're a new player, like you don't know what's going on at all because you don't know what any of these things do. So like that's definitely a problem with the game.
Oh, and that was a big thing for me too. Learning that Warbreaker is that Warriors go. I thought it was Avatar. I was like, okay, he's Avatar. This is the go, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
mean
a lot to learn.
Avatar does increase their damage, but like yeah, there's certain things that are prioritized more. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, how many more did you feel like doing, or
we got about 10 minutes. We can let's do some of the
okay?
games that you're like winning and stuff. I want to see some.
Okay. Why don't we do this game? It was a long game,
Sure.
and it was Shadow Priest, DH,
Again.
myself, and we were
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
against the crazy comp.
Sure.
So I thought I did really well, but I know I was fucking up a lot
Yeah.
because I almost died a lot.
So what would you say is your main team? You said you were playing Kitty Cleave, but I haven't seen a single game of Kitty Cleave.
I was playing Kitty Cleave before I got SquadOV.
Okay, I got it.
So
Makes
these
sense.
games were in the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 days,
Sure.
and I got up to 2350 with Kitty Cleave before that,
Yeah.
and that was about as high as I ever got.
And
So,
SquadOV is pretty insane, huh? It's like,
oh, it's just so convenient.
yeah, it's actually like one of the nicest things I've used. It's crazy. What's SquadOV? It's an app that lets you record your games that are like not on your PC. It's like on a cloud, yeah, I think, right?
Yeah, it's cloud. You
It's
don't
cloud
have
based.
to
Yeah,
save it to your local drive.
yeah.
Just and it's instant
It's
too. And
yeah,
then you can track your comp. It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
And there's so much more like detail. Like yeah, there
Yeah,
it's
it's like
like
this too.
it shows like look at all this information. It shows like when people are using stuff, the talents that people played, uh just literally anything you can think of. It's all there. And it's such a beautiful work of art. I
One
love
didn't.
Squad OV.
Yeah, that one didn't load though. So try to
Okay. If you can't do that game, we can just do another game too. It's fine. It's like whatever. It's not a big deal.
Okay, I'll try it again. It might. Okay, I don't know. It's not.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, here's a
Ooh,
win.
let's do a Frost CK one because a lot of people play bad around Frost CK.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen you do that one yet.
Yeah, I played this a little bit. I think we won a couple and we lost.
Oh, you're playing a Frost CK. I get it. Okay. I
Yeah,
was saying
I'm
playing
playing.
against it. Playing against it. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. I don't know what's.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they're not loading. It's weird.
I don't know. Well, we can follow up the other ones another time, I guess. I don't know
Sure.
why it's not.
Um. Yeah. So the main things like that I think that you need to work on is positioning for.
Yeah.
So number one is like defensive positioning. Okay, like
Hmm.
when you're fighting RMP, when you're fighting boomkins, when you're fighting cleaves, like
Hmm.
these things like you want defensive positioning for different reasons. Like you want the RMP, like you want defensive positioning because like you need to be able to dispel further goes properly, right? Because like
Yes.
that matters. So like you're fighting RMP defensively for the defensive crowd control issues, and also they can kill you. So those are the two things, right? So like having being far away from setup is good, and then for cleave, it's like the things you need to work on when you're fighting cleave is like trying to control the pace of the game as far as cloning the DPS more and the
Hmm.
healer less, so that way you can heal more efficiently and safely. And
Right.
then when it comes to healing, your GCD usage in terms of like efficiency with your life bloom target, your adaptive swarm target, and your send ward target, and understanding cooldown rotation, those that needs to be worked on. And then
Hmm.
um, as far as positioning in terms of controlling, like not getting crowd controlled by like a boomkin, like if you're fighting DH boomy,
Yeah. Stay
like
away.
stay like yeah. So those things work on.
Yeah.
Those are like the core things, and then like obviously there's like the smaller things that we could work on in terms
Well,
of
it's
like
definitely good to hear and I know what's a problem is my GCD usage because I
Yeah,
am bad
yeah,
about that. I will
yeah,
just keep hitting rejuve, life bloom, and it's really not helping.
yeah. So those are the core mechanics that I think, if we work on that, and then like
Mhm.
I can almost guarantee you like uh a severe increase in your rating if you practice those. And just remember, like, druid is actually the hardest healer to play. Like, regardless of what anyone says, like, I played all the
Yeah.
healers. There, it's the most technical in terms of like how to do, because like you have a lot of things, you have a lot of power that you have. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes. And
There's a lot
yes.
of detail compared to
It's
other
like you
healers.
said, like great
So
power, great
yes,
responsibility.
exactly.
It's
And like,
yes.
and we're just scratching the surface. Like, you're playing Guardian Affinity stuff. Like, Feral Affinity is like a whole nother level. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's just like levels and levels to Resto Druid that people just don't fully understand, and it's just
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I'm definitely baby tier right now.
yeah,
I just want to get I know you were saying last night 2400 is not like a crazy thing, but to me,
yeah. No,
I would
go
feel
for it.
really
Go for it. Yeah, yeah. Like, you're a new
yeah.
player. Like, absolutely, bro. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not
Mhm.
trying. I'm not. People ask my opinions and I give them to them. It doesn't mean I want to like actually, destroy people's like mentality or like their achievements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They ask me what I think, and this is what I think of the game, like in terms of like
Mhm.
inflation, because like, people are at 3,500 now and stuff like that. So don't
Mhm.
don't let me discourage you. Go
No,
shoot
it
for the
definitely
stars,
won't.
man.
I was gonna get it regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just literally
Well,
shoot for the
hopefully.
stars, because like the thing is, like, when when you get the information that I'm giving you, like, you're not just going to be 2-4. Like, you're going to be much higher. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's my,
Mhm.
because like the people that I've coached before this, like, they've all like achieved like way high, like higher ratings than what they're used to playing at, So
Right.
don't
Yeah.
worry, it will come, okay? Just
Yeah, I know it takes time. It definitely. But yeah,
right.
those that was very helpful. Like I said, there was definitely things I was doing wrong,
Yeah.
and to hear that they were wrong, um, that's good.
All right, man. We'll see
Okay,
you.
man.
Hopefully, we'll see you. I don't know, like maybe at least one more session, like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
especially, you know what? Especially like with the new patch coming around, like because like there's gonna be all new set bonuses and stuff like that. So like maybe you can get some um some VODs for like next season and stuff, and
Oh,
we can run
I'm
it
really
back.
excited. I am. Like I've really enjoyed playing WoW Arena. I think it's really fun. And yeah, I'm stoked for next. So definitely.
All right, we'll see you
Okay,
next
man.
time. Yep, take it
Catch
easy.
you later.